So now we can start our activity. So what we should do, we should create our Azure Databricks resource first. So Azure Databricks, we can select from here. So I'm giving you a walkthrough from beginning. Okay. So ideally, these activities you don't have to perform, means setting up environment, configuring the environment, and do any kind of activities. But you should know about all these things. Okay. So we can simply go and create our Azure Databricks resource. So you can choose your subscription. So I'm having my subscription. You can create a new resource also, but I have already have created a new resource. So I'm selecting that new resource, right? Then I can create the workspace name. So I'm just writing ADB hyphen, you can say PRJ, okay, just like project, okay. And I can select the region. So let me create in East US2. So pricing tier, because it's a free account, I already have this thing. So I can either choose a 14 days trial where I'm having free DBUs for 14 days, okay, or I can have premium also. So let's do it for this one. Okay. Manage resource. What do you mean by manage resource? So resource group, we have already discussed in our Azure Data Factory, sessions. What is resource group? So resource group is basically, is a kind of your group of resources. So what do you mean by resources? You already know that in Azure we are using some of the resources. The resources like Azure Data Factory is one of the resources, ADLS Gen2, or any resources, any services you are using in Azure, that is termed as resources in a simple manner. And the group of services is again, you can consider a group. So resource group. With the help of resource group only, you will be charged, you know, your all your pricing and invoicing will be charged based on your resource group. So anyway, so manage resource is something which you can avoid. You can create also, no problem. If you want to create, you can create, right? Manage resources. Okay. ADB, or you can avoid it also, because this is, you don't have to do it by yourself, because this is only meant for your Apache Spark organization, which will give you, a data brick subscription. Okay. So you can avoid it, but let's create it, no problem. ADB is GRP, something like that. Okay, I created it. You should hit on review and create. It is validating and it will, uh, you know, create for some time. Okay, and okay, it will take some time. And in the meanwhile, what we should do, we should go to our storage account. So I'm having a storage account where I already created a storage account. Okay, and the steps of creating a storage account is very simple. So let me first check what is the region of the storage account. So this storage account is in the East US2. My Azure Databricks workspace is also in East US2, right? So there is no problem. And this is of a storage account Azure ADLS Gen2. And how we can see this Azure ADLS Gen2? Okay, okay. This is disabled. Okay, no. It should be enabled instead of disabled. So this is not ADLS Gen2 actually. Okay, so I need to just create a new one. Okay, just a second. Let me create a new one. Okay, fine. Because why we should create a new one? Because when I have created, anyways, let me create a new one. Just hit on create resource and then create storage account. Okay, and in this storage account, we can simply hit on storage account and hit on create. And then this is the resource group. Yes, I can give a very small name so that I can easily SSACL. Let me first select the region as East US2. You can select any of your region, that's not a problem, but there should be consistency. So this storage account is available in my region. Okay, so next important thing is we should make one checkbox enabled, and if you are not making it enable, it will not be your ADLS Gen2. Okay, our this deployment is succeeded. That means our Azure Databricks is now created. Now next we can hit on next and review and create. Okay, we can create our storage account. This storage account is going to be created very soon. Then we will follow a medallion architecture, and in that medallion architecture we will create our three uh, layers, which is bronze layer, silver layer and gold layer. Then I can go to some of the tables I have downloaded. So it is created in our storage account. What we will do, we will go inside the container and we will add the containers. So basically we are following the medallion architecture. So I'm giving the name as bronze. First container, second container will be your silver, and third container will be your gold. Okay, and I'm adding one more container to just load the source file. Okay, and in this source file I'm going to upload the data. I will browse my file, and what I will do from okay, so I'm uploading the data. So all the data is in Parquet format, you can see. And why Parquet format? Because the CSV format we have already used. We can check the Parquet format concept, and this holds your big data. Okay, it's not mandatory. You can load CSV as well. Okay, so I am having four tables like customer, orders, product, and region, right? So that we are going to load here. Okay, anyway, we can go to our resource, and the resource is as our ADB PRJ. This is our okay. Then I can hit on launch workspace, and I can hit on my signed in account. Okay, you can see when you select this is your workspace, this is your recent, this is your catalog, workflow, compute, marketplace, right? So when you go to workspace, so inside workspace you can create a folder or you can create a notebook. Okay, so everything you can create within the workspace. So what first thing we are doing is we are creating a folder, and that folder we are creating for Azure Databricks. You can say PRJ, simple PRJ1, or you can say Azure Databricks. Okay, part 1, something like that. This is the folder I have created. So in this folder we can create any notebook. Fine. But without, and before jumping further, we can talk about the other features also what we have. Okay, so recent you already know. If you do any activity, that will come under this section known as recent. Catalog is basically where you can see the catalog. Catalog means where you can store the data. Okay, we will talk more about catalog. First we will configure this catalog with the concept of unity catalog. Okay, And workflow is something just like pipelines we have used in Azure Data Factory. We have workflows here. The same concept. Compute is basically a cluster. Cluster. So when we are talking about compute, okay, uh, to run any job, you need some platform where you can run these jobs. Okay, so that platform you are going to create with the help of compute. That platform or infrastructure will be managed by Apache Spark or Databricks, right? So you just have to give your information, what kind of cluster you want to use. So we have all purpose cluster, we have job compute, we have SQL warehouse, right? So this cluster is a very light cluster given by Databricks. So so what I will do, I am not interested in creating the cluster because what is happening, this is a free trial version. In this free trial version, and especially when we are using a premium tier, they are allowing only to build a cluster of 4 core. Okay, 4 is the minimum core, and a few days I have checked for 4 cores. Clusters is not available in most of the region, right? So this will also work fine without creating a cluster. Okay, and we have something known as marketplace. So marketplace is nothing but whatever companies they are associated with, what all they are doing a partner and all, right? Then we have SQL view. You can write your SQL queries, you can create some dashboard, you connect to your Power BI, something from there, right? You can do for SQL. This is Genie is just an AI application, right? Uh, so basically what we have to do, we have to work in this section, and then we will do in this section data engineering, where we can write we can create pipelines, the same pipeline that we had created in Azure Data Factory. We can create some for each loop as well, we can write expression, we can do all the things that we have done in Azure Data Factory, right? Then this section will talk about machine learning things. So if you want to do any modeling or ML algorithm, right? So the next thing what we can, what which is most important thing after creating, so let me list down the steps here. Step one. So step one is you created Azure Databricks, right? Workspace, correct? And in a step two, what you did, you created Azure storage account. Why you created storage account? Because you need to load the data from your Azure data storage account, right? So in this Azure storage account, what you have done, you have created ADLS Gen2 storage account. In this ADLS Gen2, you have created containers. Okay, so containers is basically a partition of your data lake. So within the data lake, you will create a containers, and as we know, we are following the medallion architecture. So we created a container known as bronze, silver, and gold. Right? You can see these containers. If you go to home, we have SSACL, right? We have containers, so you can see all these containers. Inside source container, what you did, you loaded these files. These are in form of Parquet file, right? So the next activity you have to do is you have to do some settings within the Databricks. Okay, and what kind of setting you have to do? So basically you have to set up your Unity catalog. So first of all, we should talk about what is Unity catalog, right? So if you go to your learning platform, this is your Azure Databricks documentation, right? So this will give you more information about Azure Databricks, what is data lakehouse and everything, right? So if you want to know about other things like Unity catalog, this is your architecture. So this is a good source of information if you want to learn more theoretical concept, what is ACID guarantees. So today I'm not going to cover all these things, right? All the theory part, because I'm more focused toward, making the hands-on for you, correct? So let's search about Unity catalog here. Okay, here it is, the Unity catalog. Okay, fine. So theory part you can cover by yourself. So how to configure the Unity catalog? What are the steps? So first step is you have to go in your manage account section. What is the meaning of this manage account section? So when you clicked on this, this is if you go to this one, this option will not be visible in your screen on the first time in first go. It will not be visible. But why it is visible to me? Because I configured the manage account. And how to configure this manage account? So we have accounts. So remember this accounts.azuredatabricks.net. So this is the link where you have to go. So when you do first time, you have to click on uh, continue with Microsoft Entra ID, right? So initially this Microsoft Entra ID, when you clicked on, it will give you a pop-up to give the username and password. Okay, so you don't have to give your simple username just like this @gmail blah blah, right? So what you have to do, you have to go to Microsoft Entra ID. Remember, this is the most important step that you have to perform. It's a one-time activity. You have to click on users, and in this users you can see this is use your principal name. So if you see the principal name, you can see this is not a simple email ID. What kind of email ID it is? It is coming with some hash tags and underscore @ and all these things. So this is a Microsoft Entra ID for my user. So if you have to log in, right, in this accounts.azuredatabricks.net, what you have to do? You have to log in with the help of this. So what I'm doing, I will copy this a clipboard. So for me it will not pop up because when I clicked, so I'm getting two email IDs. So I will not log in with this one. So you should have to log in. You have to use another account, and you have to feed this as your user account, and you have to reset the password. Okay. So in my case, this is already signed in. So I can directly go. Okay, and I can see this is accounts.azuredatabricks.net is open. So you can only configure your Unity catalog using this method. Okay, now you can see workspace. So what workspace I am having? This is the new workspace which I created today, right? So initially what is happening, Unity catalog is already created by system, okay, by Azure system. So this is a by default Unity catalog given by Azure Databricks. So we will not be using this one. What we will do, we will use our own Unity catalog. Okay. So let me delete all these first. This is by default created by system. We can use this as well, but you know, we have to learn about more about Unity catalog and their steps. So I am going to delete this. So for deletion, it is saying type this, then only it will delete, right? So I'm typing this EastUS2. Yeah, let me delete. So it is deleted. This is for EastUS. I don't care about this Unity catalog, but I'm not using this as well. So we should delete this meta store project. But remember, if there is any entity behind this, this will not allow to delete. Okay. Okay, it's deleted. Now we are good. So now what we are doing all the settings within the Databricks, and to do all the settings, what we have to do, we have to log into this account. Okay, we have to log in to this account first, and after login, we have to set up the Unity catalog. Oh, a better way to learn about Unity catalog is the best approach is you can just use ChatGPT. Okay, instead of searching here and there, you can just give more details about Unity catalog in Azure Databricks. Okay. So Unity Catalog is unified governance solution. Basically, why it is used? It is made for data governance. So what do you mean by data governance? Data governance means if you are giving some access, if you are giving some data lineage, if you are maintaining the metadata centrally. What do you mean by maintaining the metadata? So for any data, so basically if any data is there, it will be stored in a table, right? Any data there will be a table, so there will be a table structure. For example, we have a customer, correct? We have something known as product, something like that. Any number of columns, we have some table structure. So that structure, if we are maintaining this schema or metadata of this structure within one single folder, okay, centrally, so that is known as Unity catalog. Okay. So basically, when we are talking about centralized metadata management, fine grained data lineage, okay. So you can just see all this if for auditing. So you can learn all the concept using, Google or any website like ChatGPT, right? So I'm just trying to make best use of our time and directly go inside the catalog, and you have to click on create metastore. You can just give any name like metastore, but remember before, creating a Unity catalog. So metastore, let me first give the name metastore underscore east us2, right? So remember, Unity catalog will be created based on region. For any region there should be only one Unity catalog. For example, if you have already created for east us, correct, or you have created for east us2, or you have created for central India, correct, you cannot create any other Unity catalog if you have already created for this one, right? So right now I have not created for anyone, so you have to select the region. So because I'm using east us2, because my data storage is in east us2, my workspace Azure Databricks workspace is in east us2, so I will be creating the Unity catalog in east us2 only, correct? Clear? So this Unity catalog is meant for all the data governance part. Or data governance means we can store the metadata. Metadata means all the table schema structure at one place. How it help? It will help to make the audit easier, make the data lineage easier. Data lineage is basically it's a where use list, you can say. Okay. Then this Azure Databricks will be taking data from Azure Data Lake, right? So ADLS Gen2 is my source basically. This is optional, but what I will do, I will just give the address of my ADLS Gen2. Why this address is required? First of all, we should understand this. So we are creating meta store or Unity catalog. Why we are creating Unity catalog? Why we are creating Unity catalog? So we are creating Unity catalog because we want to we want to enable data governance. Simply, we want to enable data governance, right? So what's the meaning of enabling data governance? So it means if you have a metadata, it should be stored at a central place. So we have selected a data center name as east us2, right? And in this east us2, um, are you guys there? Okay. So in this East metadata, in this East US2, we have a storage account, and in this storage account, there should be a container, right, where I can store all the metadata or data governance information in this container, right? So what we should do, first of all, we should go to our, because we have to give this container name at the rate storage name.dfs.core.windows.net. Okay. So what we will do, we will go in our storage account, which is our storage. This is our storage account, and in this storage account, we will create another container for metadata, and the container name will be meta store, right? Great. So we have this meta store as a container. So what we will do, we will just type meta store, because we want to create all the store all the information in our data lake. So meta store at the rate storage account. So storage account is SSACL. So that's the reason I have given a very short name so that I can remember it very easily. So dfs.core.windows.net. Okay, so this is the complete information, then this forward slash, right? So this will if this will give the access of this folder. So right now we don't have anything over here, right? So what we will do now, we have something known as access connector ID. So basically we should understand this concept, why this access connector ID is required and what we are doing. Now I can explain you in this manner. It's very simple. So we have something known as ADLS Gen2, correct? And we have something known as Databricks. Okay. And if so, we have storage account name as metadata. Metastore, not metadata. Metastore is a storage container where all your information will be stored. Fine. Now, if you have to use this, so if Databricks has to store any file, any schema, any data lineage information, any audit information, okay, within this location, it should be connected. But remember, this Databricks is in Apache Spark organization, right? The owner of this services is a different company. This Metastore is in Microsoft organization, right? So there should be a connector in between them, right? And that connector is known as, so the organization has already given a connector, okay? So that connector is known as your access control, correct? This is known as access connector ID, right? It's very easy to create. So that's why it's asking for, can you give me the access connector ID? So what we should do now? We should create an access connector ID where we can create. So you can see you have something known as access connector for Azure Databricks, these services. So two connectors are already created by system. So what I will do, I will delete. I don't want to use the existing one. Well, I will give you the option to create. It is failed, maybe because, okay, okay, it is in use somewhere. It is in use. Anyway, let me delete this one. I don't know. Okay, no worries. Let it be done. So it's deleted for East US. So I'm having only one connector. Let me try to delete. Otherwise, I will use the same one if it is not deleting. Okay, it is because access is not given, because it might be used somewhere anyways. So what we can do, this is for east us2 and this is what we want. So just click on that, otherwise you can create yours as well. So we have something known as resource id. What you have to do, you have to click on this copied, okay, and you have to just paste your resource id here. Okay, that's it. Now you, and before uh, so one important thing, the important thing is you have created your access connector. Okay, access connector id. One second. Okay, so the concept is, what we have done, we have created access connector id, but is this access connector id is having access to this storage account? No. Okay, because we have created it but we have not given any access to this storage account. Okay, this access connector id is created, right? But the most important thing is, after creating this access storage, this access connector for Azure Databricks, we need to give the access of the storage account. So what we should do, we should go inside our storage accounts, and these are very important steps, otherwise it will give lot of error. So we are inside our storage account. This is my storage account. This is known as access control IAM. We have to go inside this access control IAM and we have to add the role assignment. So in this role assignment, we have to find the storage account data contributor role, or you can just simply type data contributor role for easy search, right? And you can see storage account. Okay, this is the thing, storage blob data contributor. Okay, we, so you can see allow for read, write, delete access to storage blob container and data. Don't worry about storage blob or ADLS Gen2. It's the same thing, right? So we have to add this. So we have to select it and we have to click on next, right? Then we are trying to give for this access connector ID, right? So basically you should understand what is this. It is a user. Access connector ID is not a user, is not a group of user, right? User who can log in, right? It is manage identity, right? So you have to select this checkbox and give select members. So if you select the members, it will give you which manage identity means which resource you are trying to give the access of this storage account, right? So yeah, so remember every time. So if you have created an ADLS Gen2, a storage account is a resource, right? Storage account is a resource within your Microsoft Azure, and you have created another resource and you want to make that resource having access of this data. Means this resource, for example, you have created any resource like X resource, right? Now you want this X resource can be able to read the data from the storage account, can write the data from the storage account, can do the deletion, can do any number of things, right? So what you should do, you should have to connect, you have to give the access of this storage account. And how you can give this access? Using manage identity, right? So I am selecting this, I should select access connector for Azure Databricks, and this is the only one, right? So you can just click on that and just click on select. So now you can see select, and then you have to click on review plus assign. Okay, and hit on review plus assign. You can see it is assigning the role. The added role assignment is done, successfully completed. If you want to see the access, you can click on view my access. So it will give you, okay, this storage account is having this access, grant full access to manage all the subscription, blah blah, right? So this is the concept. Okay, role assignment. An error occurred. Okay, okay, and wait a minute, check the access. Manage identity. Let me check if this access having access or not. Yes, this access having this access. Okay, fine. So access is granted successfully. No problem. We have checked it. Now, once this is granted, that means I can go and I can create it now, because now this access connector ID is having access of this meta store with container which is available in this storage account, right? And I can simply hit on create. Let's see what is going to happen. Okay, so at the moment you will create, so this is created. Now it is asking to assign a workspace. So basically this Unity catalog is you know is on top of your Azure Databricks control panel. So what is your workspace? So you have created Azure Databricks workspace. So this is your workspace, adb-prj, right? This is the workspace. So basically whatever Unity catalog you have created, you will assign this workspace. Means your Unity catalog will be applicable to this workspace. So you have to just select it. It is saying WordPress is already assigned to a meta store. If you assign a new meta store to this workspace, workload. Okay, let me see how it is assigned. Okay, no problem. Make it enable, and okay, it's done. Let me check workspace is assigned or not. Yes, this is assigned. This is already assigned within this me storage, right? Within this configuration, what you have to do, you have to edit the username, because right now if you click on this edit, it will give your hashtag ID, right? But whenever you will log in, you will log in with your normal ID. So what you should do, you should just hit and just type your name and it will give you both the ID. So here you will select your normal ID. Okay, and basically one more thing, you have to go inside this user management and you have to make yourself as an account admin. How you can make yourself as an account admin? For example, I have already done it. That's why it is saying it's already there, right? Account admin. But you will not, when you do this thing during your first time, you will not see this as an account admin role. You will only see this. So you have to just click on that and go to roles, and then you have to make this checkbox enabled. It will be disabled for you. So you have to first make it enabled, right? Then both will become admin, both users, hash users as well as your normal user ID. So you can log in using both the users. Okay. So account admin should be added, and then in the within the catalog, you just have to edit this and choose your normal ID here and click on save. Okay. Now you are done with making your Unity catalog configured. Okay, so let me recap what we have done to make the Unity catalog configured. Okay, so what we did, we have to go to this link. First step, go to this link. Okay, step number one. What was the next step? Step number two is we have to log in with our Microsoft Entra ID. Entra ID. Okay, it will be containing your hash value and all. Correct. I'm giving you a recap. Okay, and how to check the Entra ID? You have to go to your portal.azure.com, and then you can see this is your Microsoft Entra ID. Then you can go to users. Then you can just in the users, you can see this user principal name. You have to copy that user principal name, and you have to just use this name as a login account, and you have to reset the password initially, and after resetting the password you will configure authenticator app. It will give you directions, no problem. Correct. Finally you will be inside this. Okay, got it. Okay, so I can say log in with the help of Microsoft Entra ID. reset the password and configure what? Configure Google or Authenticator app in your mobile. Okay. It will give you the directions, no problem. Okay. In step 3, what you will do? In step 3, you will go to user management and make yourself as an admin. Okay. So you can go to user management in same link and make your normal ID as admin. Making sense? How to do this? You can do this by clicking on user management. Click on your, imagine this is not account admin. This is blank, right? You have to double click on your name, go to roles and make this checkbox, this radio button enabled, right? So this will give you admin access to your normal ID, correct? Now, next thing is in step 4, what you have to do? You have to go to catalog and create meta store. Create meta store in your catalog. So you have to go to catalog. You have to create meta store in catalog. Make sure, but what you have to make sure, okay? Please make sure that no previous catalog of your region should be there. Should be there. Got it? So if you, so by default, Databricks will give you a catalog, okay, Metastore catalog. Now there are some prerequisites before of, what are the prerequisites? Before creating Unity catalog, what are the prerequisites? So prerequisite number 1, storage account should contain Metastore container, right? It should contain Metastore container. Second is uh, Azure Databricks access container connector, sorry, not container, connector should be created. Okay. And what is the third one? Access to storage account should be given to access connector ID. Okay. Got it. And how to do this? How to do this? So it can be done by adding role name as storage block data contributor to access connector ID. Are you following me? Okay. So once access connector ID is created and connection is given, what you have to do? You have to click on create. Yeah, create meta store. And after creating a meta store, so this will be your, after creating meta store, what will happen? You have to assign the workspace to the meta store. Assign the workspace. So workspace is already created. Workspace is already created. Workspace for your Databricks is already created, right? So if you go to your resource, this is your workspace, right? If you go to your resource group, where is here it is, right? So this is the workspace that you have already created, correct? Yeah, yeah. So if you go there, okay, I just have to, okay. So workspace is, this will be assigned the workspace, then you have to come to configuration. And in this configuration, you have to edit and give the, you know, username with your original ID. Okay. Just stop. As after assigning work is edit configuration and give the X, give the, and edit the user with your normal user ID, right? So these are the major steps. Okay. So if you will do this, so I already did that. You can click on save. Your catalog is ready. Your catalog is ready. Okay. Fine. So now we have successfully created a Unity catalog. Okay. Now, what is the meaning of this creating a Unity catalog? That means whatever table we will store, whatever table, what kind of table we will create, because we are working in a delta lake concept, right? We are creating a delta lake actually, not data lake. It's a delta lake. So basically, in this delta lake, uh, we are using delta tables. So we have a concept of delta tables. So better you can go and do your research. What do you mean by, what is the difference between data lake, delta lake? Okay, so you will get to know. But what we will do, we can go to, you know, workspace now. So next important thing is, so this part is over. Let me close the irrelevant things. Okay. Okay, got it. So now you can see, you can hit on catalog, right? And you can see in this catalog we have no we can create our catalog basically. Okay, we can create our new catalog with the help of this. Okay, and that will be tagged with un- with Unity catalog, that will be governed by Unity catalog, right? So what we are doing here is, so as I told you, we can create the compute resource, and it's very easy. You just have to hit create compute. Okay, you can choose unrestricted or you can choose personal computer, but make sure with the free access account you can only, if you're using unrestricted, you can only create single node, not multiple node, because you are not given any limitation. Only pay as you go have the limitation, correct? And second thing is, you can only create for the 4 core processor. Okay, because I tried it this. Okay, and to scale your workload, use multi-node. It's saying if you want to create for mode, you have to go with multi-node, right? But it will charge more, so I am creating single node. So basically what I did, I did not you know, created any compute resource, because most of the time I am using serverless, which is already given. So if you go to compute, right, you can see this is all purpose cluster. This is job compute cluster. This is SQL warehouse cluster. So even if you don't want to create, this is of a small size and this will work, no problem. So most of the time I'm using this serverless started warehouse, okay, for all my activities, and it will work fine. instead of creating any compute all purpose cluster. Okay, but we can create wherever it is required. So in this compute cluster, you can see the policies. So here are the policies. What are the policies we have for job compute, legacy, personal compute, right? There are all the policies. I have not read it and there's no need to read it. If you want to read, you can read for more information. Anyways, so the next step is go to catalog and create your catalog. Okay, let me record this as well. So next is creating catalog. Okay, so what we can do, we can go to workspace, basically workspace of Databricks, and we can choose to create catalog. Okay, so basically there is an option of plus, you can hit and create a catalog. And what you can do, I'm just creating ADB, actually not ADF, ADB underscore cat, something very simple word. Okay, okay, but before creating a catalog, right, what we should do, we should set up the external location. Okay, so before creating a catalog, what is the prerequisite? Now again, we have some prerequisite before creating the catalog. Before creating a catalog, what is the prerequisite? Prerequisite number one, we have to create the credentials. Second, we have to create external location. Okay, so how we can create that? We can hit on this catalog. You can see when you click on this catalog, you can see you have something known as external data. You have to hit there. Why external data? Because you are connecting to your Azure data lake, right? ADLS Gen2 you are connecting because you are connecting to your storage account, right? This is the storage account. These are the containers you are connecting. So these are the containers, like see, you already given a link of this meta store. Agreed? When you created this Unity catalog, right? You have already given, right? You have already given the link of this meta store within that, right? So this is already connected. But what about other folders like bronze, gold, silver, source? It's not there, right? So you have to create external location, because whatever tables it will be stored, it will known as external table. So we have a concept of managed table and external table. Okay, so basically when you have to learn, you should learn about what is managed table and external table. Let me give you a brief about managed table and external table, right? Manage table and external table. Correct. So basically, the meaning of managed table is you set up your Unity catalog. What's the use of this Unity catalog? So Unity catalog will store your metadata, correct? And that this will be managed by Databricks organization. Agreed? Where this metadata is stored? This is stored in your storage account in metastore named schema. Correct? So whatever table will be stored in this meta store will be known as managed table. Why? Because it will be managed by your Databricks. It will not contain your data. It will contain your metadata. Means information about your table. Information like your table structure, what are the type of the table, if it is a Parquet file or whatever it is. So that's why when we are talking about Unity Catalog, it will help you for data governance. So for all data governance information will be stored in the manage table and within this meta store. So while creating the meta store, you have already given the location of this meta store. Making sense? But when you have to connect to your other layers, other medallion architecture layer like bronze, silver, and gold, or even source, right? You have not given the specified location. So you have to create external location. And based on this external location, your external table will be created. So whatever table I have just mentioned in this source, these are the tables, right? So how you will connect, because you have set up the connection, that is fine. But specified location where you can give the address is required, right? So external location has to be created, so that you can say that, okay, in this catalog, I can create multiple external locations. One external location for bronze, one external location for silver, and one external location for gold, one external location for source. And if I am having other, other folders, then also it will be there. So now you could understand why this Medallion architecture came into picture. Imagine if the people are not following the Medallion architecture, what will happen? There will be thousands of folders. Isn't it correct? To restrict all the number of folders, because we want to make the process simpler and simplified process. To make it simplified, we are using this concept of Medallion architecture to reduce the number of, folders, you can say, or we can easily identify which folder is meant for which purpose. For example, bronze folder is meant for your raw data ingestion. Your silver folder is mostly for all the data transformation, and gold folder is only for business layer, means it will only expose to your reports, right? Okay, so now coming to create an external location, we will hit on creating an external location. So what I will do, as I told you, we are going to have, you know, uh, external location created for folder. So I'm creating for bronze. So I will do it bronze underscore ext underscore loc. Okay, a very simple, any name you can give, but I have given this name. Correct. Then I have to give the path. So which path? What will be the path? So path is this, right? This is the path. If I'm pointing to the bronze folder, what I should do, I should give the container name at the red storage account name .dfs.core.windows.not, right? And plus forward slash. So forward slash. So a bronze folder is empty. I have to give. I want to give the access of this all the folders. I'm not having any directory. Okay, so what I will do, so what do you mean by ABFSS? It is Azure Blob File Storage System, something like that, right? That is short form of that. So if you want to store the data within the Azure Blob, so you will have to write this ABFSS colon double forward slash. Then what is the container name? Container name is a branch. And then what is the storage account name? SACL, I think, right? Let me reconfirm. This is SAACL, right? And this is branch, right? Then what I will do, dfs.core.windows. So no worries, you would be able to learn it very soon. Okay, so that's it. Now, okay, now it is asking for storage credential. So before creating the external account, what we should have our storage credential ready, right? So that's why I have written step number 1 is to create the credential, then create the external location, right? So what we should do, don't worry. What we can do, we can just, okay, we can just copy, we can open in different tab, this catalog, and we can again hit on external data. Okay, in this one we are creating external location, but here we can go to credential first, right? So this credential is already there. Forget about this. We don't have to delete or do any action. Just hit on create credential. Okay, and in this credential I'm just giving simple name cred underscore adb, simple. Correct. What is the connector id? Access connector id. So we have to go to our connector id. We already know this is our connector, and we just have to click on resource id, just copy this, right? So because why this connector id is required? Because this is the only key using which it will connect to my storage account, because few minutes back you have given the access of your storage account to this entity with the help of this id, right? So this is the id card, so we just have to paste it. Okay, that's it. And other things not required, you just have to create it. It is created, right? You can see this is manage identity type. Okay, everything is fine, everything is fine, everything is fine. Okay, so this credential is created. Now if you go to this link, right, now it will show you immediately. It is showing me because this is a web browser. Okay, it will not wait for getting refresh. Here you have created. Now you can select your storage credential. Got it? So first option is create credential, second option is create location, external location. Okay, and you know how to create it, just hit on create. So you have created it. Now you, after creating it is successfully done, you have to test this connection. Hit on this test connection, you can see all should be green. Then you have successfully created the storage credential for bronze layer. Similarly, what we should do, we should create storage credential for other layers also, right? So what we can do, let's create it for silver. Silver underscore ext underscore uh, location, right? Then we will do the same thing, abfss double column slash, then we'll write silver at the rate sasscl underscore dfs dot core dot windows, okay, dot net. Okay, then same credential, because we don't have to create credential any number of time. It is a access already created. Okay, hit on create. It's done. Then what we should do, we should test the connection. Okay, this is done. Again we will go and create for gold layer, gold underscore ext underscore loc, and we will write the same thing, abfss gold at the rate sasscl dot dfs core dot windows dot net. Okay, and we will use this. Alright, it is created. Then we'll going to test this connection. Now this time we will go for the last one is source. Source underscore ext underscore loc. Again same thing, abfss source at the rate sasscl dot dfs dot core dot windows dot net. Okay, hit on create. Let's go to test connection. Done. Fine, this is done. So we have successfully created the external location. Okay, now why we are creating this external location? To create catalog, right? This is step 5, to create catalog. Okay, so these were the pre-steps. So once you created the external location, then you can go to catalog one more time. Sure, external data, you can easily able to connect your data, right? So what you should do, you should click on plus icon, hit on create a catalog. All right, go click on this and choose option to create catalog. Correct. What I should do, I am giving a simple name adb underscore cat. Okay, type is a standard, you can give a standard only. Okay, no problem. No need to give any external location because I am not creating for any specific external location, right? I am creating for storing all the data. Okay, so within this catalog, so what do you mean by catalog? So the meaning is very simple. Catalog is a kind of partition, because if you have very big database, okay, let's say you have access of entire cloud, but within this entire cloud, if you are storing your data of branch or source, it will be, you would not be able to find out, right? So you need a partition. So catalog will be your partition. So for example, this is your partition. So within this partition, you can only store your own data, right? So that's why catalog is important. Within this catalog, you can create a schema. So this is the concept of your database, schema or catalog. So this, there will be a catalog, and within that schema means all your folders like bronze, silver, gold will become your schema. Correct? So with this is the concept. So this is your partition, and within this partition, we will create one schema name as bronze, another schema name as silver, third schema name as gold, like this. And why it is important? Because tomorrow, if I have to do a reporting in Power BI, or if I have to run any AI or ML algorithm, I will only choose the gold schema, because I know gold is meant for reporting, gold is meant for AI ML. Correct? But if someone wants to see the detailed data, they can directly jump to silver schema, right? Okay, so this is the concept. So I'm not creating any is thing for storage location. I just create on hit on create. So it's saying catalog has been created with recommended permission setting. Click configure to set up additional. If you want to click any additional permissions, you can do that. Otherwise, it is not required because the recommended practice is given, right? So you can click on next, or you can click on, okay, just click on next. Nothing, it's not required. Okay, just cancel. So this is your schema is created, and you can see, sorry, catalog is created, not schema. Catalog is created, and within this catalog, you can see you have some schema, default schema is there. Default schema is there, given by system, and information schema is there. So what do you mean by default? If you upload any data, it will by default come in this section. Information schema is just to give you informations about your catalog. So within this catalog, if you have any stored procedure written, any function is written, anything is written, that will come under information underscore schema. Okay, got it? Now the next activity is, because you have created a catalog. Now within this catalog, I told you, within this catalog, what you have to do, you have to create a schema, right? So what we will do, we will first create a schema known as bronze. We will create only three schema: bronze, silver, and gold. We will not make the things dirty, right? You cannot do test one, test two. There should not be so many schemas, because we have to follow the Medallion architecture only. Correct? So it should be clean and crystal. So first schema that we are, so when you click on this catalog, your all the options will come. But when you click on this own catalog, right, you will get an option known as create schema. Okay, so how to create a schema? You can create a schema by click on your catalog and choose option to create schema. Correct? So you can just hit on this schema name and give the name as branch. Okay. Now, no need to select this external location because it's a only schema. You're not, just feeding any data. When you have to, I will tell you when to select the external location. So this schema is successfully created. Okay. All right. Now, the schema is created. Now, the last part of today is we are going to just ingest the data. Ingest the data. Okay. Data ingestion. Simple. So we know how to ingest the data. We can create delta tables because we are maintaining delta lake. So we can create delta tables. Okay. So how to create the delta tables? We have learned previously some of the things like CTES or so many things, right? So those are very I mean, based on some Python or SQL, you are creating the delta tables, right? But we will discuss today the most easiest way, and that is with the help of UI. Okay. And how to create this? So you can go inside data engineering. You can click on this data ingestion. Very simple. Okay. No need to just worry. Now you can see there are n number of options are this. For example, if you see Databricks connector. So if you have a Salesforce system, ServiceNow, Google Analytics, right? We all have options. If you want to create with the help of file, you can create, upload these things. But if you have to connect with your ADLS Gen2, Azure Data Lake or ADL Azure Blob, right? You can choose this option of data ingestion, right? Then if you then this is the most important features these days because this Databricks is very popular among everyone. So if you want to ingest the data from anywhere else, like you want to ingest the data from your OneDrive, Google Drive, Jira, GitHub, Webhook, this is very powerful tool. And this is very powerful options, right? So right now we are only focusing on ingesting the data from ADLS Gen2, but there is a lot more to explore in this Databricks environment, right? And you can see even nowadays, just it's a news of like last week only. Okay, I have written some article on that it is now connected with your as SAP as well. Okay, if you can check my LinkedIn article, you would be able to see that now Databricks has joined with SAP and they are taking the data from SAP HANA and S4 HANA as well. So they are covering everywhere, all the possible things. So Fivetron is another tool using which we can do the connections and we can extract the data. But right now, what we can do, we can hit on this create table from ADLS Gen2 because our data is stored in where it is stored. Data is stored in storage account, and in this storage account, it is stored in my source container, right? So what I will do, I will just simply load a table today. Okay. And yeah. Okay. Fine. So create delta table from ADLS Gen 2. We have selected that option from the data ingestion, right? Now what we can do, uh, which storage, which location we should select. If you drill down, you can see all your location created. So where we have this data, is it in the bronze layer, gold layer, silver layer, or source? It is a source layer, right? So we have to choose source layer first. So you can see whatever data will be available in the source, it is automatically displayed. You can see this is my source container. It is having 4 files. Automatically it is displaying. Why it is displaying? Because this source container is connected. I already explained you, right? So if you check this source container within your storage account is connected with the help of access contain connector ID And the access of storage data contributor role is assigned to this connector ID, right? And while creating your store this external location, just few minutes back you created your external location. And how you created the external location? By creating credentials. While creating your credentials, what you did, you have given this connector ID, right? So that is the significance of using this connector ID. So in this one, you can choose anyone. So which table you want to use? I want to use the region table first of all. Okay. So what I will do, I will just, if you want to preview the data, you can preview the data. So it will give you the data which is available within this table, and you can see this data is in Parquet format. So if I click that, you would not be able to see because this is a Parquet format, correct? Even if you click on, okay, this edit option is also not coming because this is a Parquet format. So data you cannot see directly, but this is the data. So there are two columns we have in this data. One is region ID, another one is region. So you will say, what is the third column? So third column, so this is the concept of your delta table. The concept is it will automatically add this rescued data, and the option is null. Why it is added first of all? So rescued data, you can do your homework and talk and learn about all these concepts. So rescued data is basically meant for if tomorrow any new column comes, then this will be adjusted within that rescued data, right? If any new structure has come suddenly, right, then it will not let your table disturbed, okay, or modified. It will help you with the help of this rescued data, correct? Then we will simply hit on create table. Okay, and your region table of, okay, you can see region table is created. Okay, so you can see, oh, there is a problem. We have not selected, okay, sorry, we have not selected our target schema. So we should delete that actually. Okay, let me delete this. Okay, sorry, we should choose our bronze layer, not in default. Okay. Okay, once again, let's go to data ingestion, create this one. This is the thing. Then, okay, so schema, because it was by default selected, we should select our own schema in the branch, because ultimately we have to bring the raw data in the branch, right? So this step we have missed. So this is the table like regions. If you want to rename, you can rename it. Otherwise, you can just hit to create the table. Okay. Got it? So this way you have created, you can see what are the kind of table it is. It is of delta table. And what is the type of this table? This is a managed table. So managed table, I told you, right? It's directly created in your managed schema. This is meta store or bronze layer, right? Okay. So it's not created. We have to create this. No, 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 it's done. You have to refresh this. It's done already. Okay. So you can see regions table is there. Okay. Now, since this is done, you can see what has happened here. So ideally, when you created any delta table, what action item should be done internally? Because we have created a container name as metastore, we have a container name as branch, right? And we have a container name as silver, and we have container name as gold. So we have 4 containers. So the moment when we created a delta table in the system, In ideal scenario, a managed table should be created within the metastore. Means this metadata has already created. So we have created a delta table name as regions, right? So metadata has created. So if this metadata will be stored in this meta store. Making sense? So what we should do? We can go inside the meta store and we can see this has come. If you go inside, the tables is there. So there are two tables. Why two tables? Because one table we just created in default, right? Schema. Okay, that was the reason. So what we should do, let's delete this because that was by mistake created by me. So if you go inside this, we have something known as delta loop, and this is the data. So this is the Parquet file, this is the data basically, you can see. Okay, if you go inside the delta load, you can see. Okay, anyways, you would not be able to see because of the nature, but this is your meta store. So meta store is having that table. Okay. Okay, fine. So the next thing is so this is the one step. Now next what we have to do, we have to learn about another method of ingestion. So one method of data ingestion is directly creating a table, okay, with the help of storage account, which is known as UI method. The next method of injection is we will do some autoloader enabled. What do you mean by autoloader? So autoloader use the concept of Spark streaming. Okay. So this is one of the concept we would learn during our next sessions. What do you mean by autoloader and Spark streaming? So this Spark streaming is the same thing. For example, if you want your data, triggered to load. Imagine you have a data like um, imagine there is a banking system. Okay, people are depositing money in different accounts. Okay, so every minute that their data is getting generated, correct? So transactions. So if I want to make a system where data should automatically flow, every new record should automatically flow from source to destination, right? This will known as stream of data. It should go automatically. So you already learned about Azure Data Factory. In Azure Data Factory, you might have seen that you are triggering your pipeline, right? You can trigger the pipeline using schedule method, tumbling window. You know, there are event-based trigger. There are a lot of triggers, right? So you're scheduling the pipeline. You're creating the pipeline in a similar manner, but this is more advanced because first of all, it will only pick the delta. It will only pick the new record. That's why it is advanced. Second thing is that you can easily do this streaming. There is a no need to write any, marker table or stored procedure that you are doing in Azure Data Factory, right? So Spark streaming is very, very advanced concept, and autoload is also very, very advanced concept, right? So we would be able to get this thing done during our next session. Okay, thank you.